What is gonna happen this stream? Did you read the title? Is the cake finished yet? I've been live for 4 minutes. I'll turn it back on when I introduce the one, because I've got to do like an intro, you know? I have to do like an intro being like, oh, we're making the stupid portal cake. Okay guys, today we are making the cake from Portal, one of our most recent favorite games, only because we are capable of beating it. I mean, it's an okay game. It was mostly a very annoying game that I had a really hard time beating, but it had a cake in it, so we're gonna make the cake. Something important to note is that the cake in Portal, I believe, is a Black Forest cake, and I don't like Black Forest cakes, so we're actually not gonna do that. I'm gonna make a dark chocolate cake and then decorate it exactly the same. It stays in the same family, but I wanted to make sure I was able to eat this cake. So we're gonna switch over and start baking. The most important thing to do, as always, is to preheat your oven, duh. This is not a recipe that I have published anywhere. So if you want to ever make this recipe, take some notes today while we make this cake. I think it could be fun. So the first thing we need to do is bloom our cocoa powder. For those of you that don't know what that is, it is bringing heat to the cocoa powder. And what that does is it fully develops the flavor so it's not bitter. So what we're gonna do first is boil some water. Along with water, I'm actually gonna use some coffee. So I just got some espresso cold brew. So I'm gonna do half water and half of this espresso cold brew. I like the flavor of espresso with your chocolate because it's just gonna give you those deeper notes. Chocolate is like a moisture fiend. It is like Pac-Man of ingredients, and it just eats up all the moisture, and so you can easily have dried cakes. So usually in my chocolate cakes, I'll use mayonnaise or yogurt, which I know you guys would have been really excited for me to use mayonnaise in my cake, but with chocolate cakes, it's essential to add additional moisture. But what I'm gonna do today is I'm actually gonna add additional egg yolks. I need 2/3 cup of liquid. So I did 1/3 water, 1/3 of this espresso cold brew. It's starting to steam a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. What I got for this is a special dark cocoa powder. I have normal cocoa powder, and then I have this special dark cocoa powder. And it's just a dark chocolate cocoa powder instead of like, it's just a darker chocolate. That's all it is. And that's because I want this to be a very deep and rich. Literally, think of the cake from Matilda. It's just like chocolatey. That's what I want this cake to be. We're just gonna transfer it into this bowl. And I need 2/3 cups of dark cocoa powder. Uh-oh, I poured a little bit extra. It's so funny. I've talked about this before, how like when I worked in a bakery, people would be like, oh, your measurements have to be exact. Fuck that. I'll say it. Screw that. They don't have to be exact. It'll still taste great. So I'm just adding my hot liquid to this, and now we're just gonna combine it. And you're gonna get a nice chocolatey paste pudding. It's gonna look like chocolate pudding. So this is what it looks like. It literally looks like a pudding. Okay, so let's get our flour. I need 2 2/3 cups of flour. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt. You always have to have salt, especially when you're working with chocolate. Especially a rich cake like this. It'll have no dimension if I don't add salt. So we've got to add salt. That's very, very important. It's a lot of salt, but it's gonna be so good. And then I want my leavener, which is 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. There's my dry ingredients. Now I'm gonna make my base, which my base is my creamed butter and sugar. What it does is it adds air. It makes your cakes more light and fluffy the more you combine them. So we're just gonna add, I need a cup of butter. I'm using unsalted butter. If you use salted, you only need about a half a teaspoon of salt, but I'm using unsalted. I like using unsalted because then I can control the amount of salt that I put in. So we're gonna cream our butter and sugar. So a cup of butter and then 2.5 cups of sugar. Okay, we're gonna cream this for like 5-ish minutes, honestly. We want this really, really, really light. Really light. It's essential to add a lot of air to chocolate cakes because with the amount of moisture you have to add to compensate for the cocoa powder, they can get really dense, and we still want a light and fluffy cake. So that's why we're gonna cream this for so long. So I just want that light and fluffy. Now our eggs, 4 full eggs, and then 2 egg yolks. Again, you could add probably half a cup of mayo. If you don't have extra eggs, you could add half a cup of sour cream here, but I'm gonna do 2 additional egg yolks. It's just gonna help it be a little more velvety, a little more moist. Okay. So now we're gonna set this off to the side, and we're gonna finish our wet ingredients being our chocolate. So we have our chocolate that we made earlier that we let bloom in the hot coffee and the hot water. So now we're just gonna add some buttermilk to this. So we're gonna do a cup of buttermilk. that I'm just gonna add directly into this chocolate. And then also my vanilla. I'm gonna add my vanilla into this as well, which I need to grab my vanilla. Flavoring is all about layering, boys. Salt, vanilla, buttermilk. So we're gonna add a teaspoon of 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and then half a cup of vegetable oil. We're gonna mix this together. Okay, so we're just gonna stir until this is all combined and we have a smooth, it looks like chocolate syrup actually. So now what we need to do, we have our base, we have our dry ingredients, and we have our wet ingredients, okay? So we're gonna alternate our wet and dry until it all becomes combined. We're gonna go dry, wet, dry, wet. Mixing and handling the bowl will be better if you stand. Buddy, I used to bake professionally. I can do it however I want, and I promise I will get the same result, but thank you. Ooh, okay, combining the wet ingredients. All right, look at this gorgeous cake mix, chat. Yummy, yummy in our tummy. All right, well, now we have to try it just casually. Everyone, you need to try your cake batter just a little bit.
Oh, it's so good.
I love it. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, these only need to be in for like 25 minutes. Okay, so we have butter, hot butter. It's steaming, it's melted and steaming. And we're just gonna add cocoa powder to that again for this frosting. So we have a cup of melted butter. Why normal cocoa powder? Why the switch? Because if I did the dark chocolate cocoa powder, it would just be way too rich. You wanna do levels. As always, you wanna do layers with flavor. So we're layering regular cocoa powder with the dark chocolate one, so it's just gonna be really rich. So for this, I need 1.5 cups of whipping cream. This is a frosting, by the way, that we're making so incredibly slowly. Okay, so I'm gonna need, this is about 8 cups. I'm gonna need this whole thing. I'm gonna need this whole thing of powdered sugar. So we're just gonna throw some in. I hate making frosting, it's so fucking messy. Guys, this is how you make frosting. I'm sorry this is alarming to you guys, but it's just, this is what it is. Like, and people eat like a lump of butter on top of cupcakes. Like, how do you feel about that, boys? That's nasty. You've all had cake, haven't you? Don't act like you're better than this, because you're not. Okay, so what we're doing is we're making it nice and crumbly, and then we're gonna add some cream to it so it all turns into like a frosting instead of, it looks like Dippin' Dots right now. It literally looks like Dippin' Dots. Gotta mix this frosting in. Diabetes. Here we come. I need to add some salt and some vanilla, and then it's done. It tastes really good. I don't want to stop eating this. Is that okay? I don't know what I'm asking you guys. We're gonna flip our cakes now. So I'll show you guys how to do that properly in order to avoid breaking your cakes. But I might break a cake. We'll see what happens. So all I'm gonna do is go around the edge with a knife just to make sure it's loosey-goosey, which it is because I sprayed it really well. So now all we have to do is in one movement, flip it over. Ooh, 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 ooh. It ripped a little bit. We've got a rippage. If your cake is still warm, you can actually usually like, I'm just gonna scrape this out and place it where it belongs, like a puzzle. It'll take it in enough that I can frost it pretty easily and you won't know that there was a hole there. Because as it cools down, it, like the pores of the cake close and it'll be like, hey friend, welcome back. Okay, same thing, ready? Lamau, get fucked. When I said I oiled my pans, I lied. Okay, chat, maybe I was overcompensating. I did not oil them well, but I was putting positive energy out there because that's what my therapist said to do, and I've paid my therapist a lot of money to tell me that, so I tried it. We're gonna put these in the freezer while they cool down, which they're gonna need to cool down a lot. So I just got Hershey's chocolate bars. I froze them, that way I can hold them longer before they melt in my hands. Then we're gonna go like this. I'm gonna need a lot of these. And now we just shave. Here's our shaved chocolate. I'm gonna cut the rest of this open. Now another issue I have is that I used pie pans instead of cake pans, so my cakes have a bit of a ledge. So I'm gonna try to cut off that ledge. I put the cake in the freezer too warm, so it's stuck to my plate. Oh my God. I am struggle bussing tonight. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Insane. And it's just a fun little puzzle. Where'd you come from, buddy? Wow, the only one that didn't stick. Peepo Pog. You can be the top layer. Oh yeah, chat, do you want to see it? Look, I made this, chat.
Yeah, here, face this way. Face this way.
Hey, ready? Check it out. This is my slime impression.
Not on the cake. Stop. But not over here.
Couldn't do another if you fucking wanted to. You're weak. You're weak and you don't have what it takes.
See, not everyone. It's hard, right?
You can't do this.
Not everyone be a champion like me.
He's posted up on the. You gotta turn the cam. They're very confused about what's going on. They need to see what he's gonna shit himself.
I come correct every day. Go on.
Come on, get out!
What's up?
This is so weird.
Don't move your pants.
Okay, so I'm just filling it, chat, and now we're just gonna dirty ice real quick and freeze it so it's all glued together, and then final frost it, cover it in its chocolate, and then it should be bingo bango. I'm almost done. So I'm gonna throw it in the freezer. We're gonna whip the whipped cream and then finish frosting it, cover it in chocolate, and then we're done.
Killer, dude. You're out. Twist it. Ow! Nice going. You're out. Beat
That's
bop.
embarrassing.
Ow! Nice going. You're out.
Where were you?
Pass it. You're out.
No, I
No,
put it on
no,
the
you're
voice
out.
one.
You're-
Put it on the voice one. Put it on the voice one.
You're
I don't-
out.
Spin it. Twist it.
Fuck. Okay, wait. I just wasn't ready because I was trying to get him over here, and I was worried because the camera. You can't.
I'm disgusted!
Bop it. Flick it. Spin it. Pull it. Pass it. Twist it. Bop it. Spin it. Pull it. Spin it. Pass it. Flick it. Twist it. Pull it. Spin it. Pass it.
Don't you fuck this up.
Twist it. Flick it. Spin it.
I keep holding. This is my problem. No, you see what I'm doing? I'm holding it and then I'm spinning it.
Unfucking believable!
Disgrace Sag, our streamer Sag. I'm sorry. I hold it too close and then I can't spin it. I'm okay. Let me make some whipped cream. Blender, boys, blender. Secret about making stabilized whipped cream. So you guys have probably made whipped cream and tried to put it on something and then it deflates and it's sad. So what you need to add to whipped cream in order to stabilize it so it keeps its shape and it doesn't deflate and it doesn't get runny is cream of tartar or milk powder. I happen to have milk powder because I use it in ice cream. So I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of milk powder to this. Sorry guys, they're bopping. They're fighting. My friends are fighting. Okay, we should get it frosted and we should finish right now. So excited if you were here. So I'm just putting all the frosting on top because then it's easier to disperse it along the sides. You'll see how I do it short. But it looks pretty good. Like if this and then I just added berries, that'd be really pretty, huh? But unfortunately, that is not the portal cake. We're just gonna go like this. See how that, there we go. Starts going down the sides. And now, I'm gonna go like this. My only regret, boys, is I need to buy a cake stand. You know what? I'm gonna treat myself, chat. I'm gonna buy myself a cake stand, okay? All right, now, chocolate shavings, here they come. We wanna be sparing but full with these because we don't have very many. This is actually hard as getting it on the sides is such a pain in the butt. So now we're just covering it in the chocolate savings. Shavings, not savings. Is it looking good, chat? Ooh, I see the pogs in chat. They love it. Now, how many cherries are on it? Is it 8? It looks like 8. 7, 8. So pretty. And now, cherries. I need big ones.